you got to grind in the right way. One of the sayings that kind of aggravates me is just the whole, well, I'm busy, oh yeah, I'm busy too. Well, it's great. Well, it's better than the alternative. Mm-hmm. Well, not really. If it's the right kind of busy, you know what I mean? If it's busy and you're profitable and you're excelling, great. But if you're just busy for busy's sake, no, that's awful. Joselyn, we are here for another episode on why hustle and comfort both stall growth
in life. Lately, I feel like just as society, we've been picking just extremes.
Yes.
On everything.
Yes.
It's like there's no middle ground anymore.
No.
The middle ground doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. I don't know when that shift happened.
Yeah.
But with everything, you're going all in or nothing, but not in a good way.
Right.
Because we're just choosing two completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. And
we're not finding that middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I think not just entrepreneurship, you can see that happening in any work environment, that there's two trends. Mm-hmm. Hustle, right? Hustle culture.
Right.
Which is great, and we'll talk about that. And then self-care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love self-care.
I do
like
too.
You can't tell me not to self-care, but there's a line.
There's a line. There's a line.
So we're gonna be talking about that today. Everybody starts the year saying, "This is my year."
Yep.
And we also end the year, right? Like I heard somebody actually say that. I think today, which there's nothing wrong with it, right? But it was like, I'm going to end the year strong, And we hear that a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Right now, we're at the very end of 2025.
Yeah.
Today is the 27th, December 27th.
Right.
And it's like everybody wants to end the year strong. And I saw something the other day that said, like it had the line, I want to end the year strong. And then like they crossed out strong and they put, I want to end the year gently. I said, ooh. Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like, okay, I kind of like that.
Okay.
I think that like we just want to hustle, and we don't think about taking care of ourselves.
Okay.
But then,
all right.
But there's extremes.
Yeah, there are.
Because entrepreneurship does demand hard work.
Yeah.
100%.
It does.
Real sacrifice. Real effort. Real seasons of grind.
Yeah.
There's no version of building something meaningful without having to sacrifice something.
Right.
That just doesn't exist.
Nah.
But somewhere along the way, I feel like hustle culture took that truth and then turned it into something kind of an extreme, a little bit dangerous too.
Right.
On one extreme, we glorify exhaustion. We glorify being busy. We glorify showing a full calendar. We glorify, showing people that we're on and on all the time.
Right.
And then on the other extreme, we pretend like growth doesn't require real sacrifice.
Absolutely.
That you just need to take care of yourself, self-care at all costs.
Right.
And both of those things are lies.
Yes.
Yes, both of those are lies. Both of those are lies. Here's the truth. Hard work builds your business, but uncontrolled hustle will destroy it.
Yep.
Right? So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the grind that grows you, but we're also going to talk about the grind that can quietly break you if you don't take care of it. So here's one question that I want to ask you before we dive truly deep into this, because I think this is so important for everybody, but especially for young entrepreneurs. Because I've seen too many extremes and kind of lack of boundaries on both ends.
Yes.
And not great advice. I just on one end that tells you got to work. There's no other option but to just work yourself to the ground. And then there's another option where it's like, what are you even working for? We're on a flying rock in the universe. All of this is gonna disappear. You don't need to work that hard. When you look at your younger self, what do you wish you had protected earlier in your life?
My time. My time, what I said yes to. There were too many tasks, projects that I said yes to that I should have said no to. So I didn't know what to say no to in the beginning. And so that can take you down quickly, right? Because you only have so many hours in the day. You only have so much time. So again, it's great to grind, but you got to grind in the right way. One of the sayings that kind of aggravates me is just the whole, well, I'm busy, oh yeah, I'm busy too. Well, it's great. Well, it's better than the alternative. Well, not really. If it's the right kind of busy, you know what I mean? If it's busy and you're profitable and you're excelling, great. But if you're just busy for busy's sake, no, that's awful, actually. You know,
Yeah.
and that's something that I want to help.
Not
people
every opportunity deserves a yes.
with. No.
But
not
when
at
you're
all.
starting out, it can kind of feel like
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
have to say yes to
Right.
everything.
You feel like you have to say yes to everything. And the things that you can have enough confidence and enough faith and belief to say no to say, no, that's not for me, that will propel you quicker than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's power in your no.
Yes.
But then with that power, it comes that's confidence.
Mm-hmm. You have to believe,
Yeah.
because it's tough. It's tough to turn things down because you want to have your brand associated with projects, and you feel like, oh, well, if I say no, then there's other opportunities are not going to come around. But you have to know what to say no to in just all forms. You have coaches in major sports that are desperate to have that first head coaching job, and they say yes to that job that they're gonna get fired in within a year because the team is awful.
Yeah.
And you just have to have enough confidence to know what to turn down.
Yeah. And I love that you said, all the things that I said yes to. Because especially when you're starting out, I feel like there is that desire to want to say yes to everything.
Right.
Not only because you have this thing where you're like, okay, I must please everybody. I must, create as many connections as possible, get as many jobs as possible. But also, like, I want everybody to see how busy I am.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think there's a fine line between you want to present yourself in a way that is attractive to potential clients, but there's that fine line between doing things so others will see it versus wanting to make yourself more attractive to potential clients.
Right. Correct.
And when you get into that, like there's a very fine line there, I feel.
There is.
How would you tell somebody to balance that line?
Yeah. So again, it's you want to have enough busy ventures that are growing your entity, growing your business, profiting you. Yeah, then great. Or, some experience is fine.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to get caught up in just being busy. If you're busy, but you're not going anywhere, that's going to lead to burnout. That's going to lead to self-destruction and take you down the road to where you're going to end up just dropping it anyway, because you're going to have other means to survive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say just, try to be selective and pick those things that are actually going to elevate and grow your business. We have an example here in the audience, Debbie, who's going to come on at the end and, share her story with us. And, she was very selective. There were a lot of opportunities that she could have taken earlier on. And if she did that, she would have been too blocked to get the great opportunity that she just got. Right. So time, your time is the most valuable, precious thing, and it's going to fly.
Yep.
Time in all of our lives are going to fly. So if you take up your time doing things that are not moving the needle, you're just going to be stuck in that rat race.
And it's such a fine line to walk on, because it's that thing where take your time, right? Decide what you're going to say yes to, what you're going to say no to. I get it. In the beginning, it's so attractive to look busy. Like you want to be able to tell people my schedule is booked.
Yeah.
You want to be able to say booked out, or you want to be able to say I don't. Maybe I can squeeze you in. Or like, I have so much going on right now. But if you're just doing that for the sake of looking busy,
right?
When a real good, great opportunity comes your way,
absolutely.
What are you going to do? Your schedule is completely packed by all of these nonsense things that you filled it up with just so that you could say, look at me, I'm busy.
Exactly.
Look at me, I'm grinding. Look at me, I'm hustling.
Exactly.
And now you don't have space for real growth.
Yeah.
Because you were busy faking.
Yeah. Just having a whole bunch of tasks, that doesn't look successful to me. So success is when you can actually calmly, and collectively walk in the meeting room and, conduct business. Not you're coming in disheveled and phone is going off and all these things are going on. No, you actually don't look like you have it together.
Yeah.
With the huge backpack with 1 million things in it or whatever. Do you want that person coming in to do business with you, or do you want someone with like a little slim case or whatever coming in, with not a whole lot of stuff like that? You may think that, coming in with all the materials and whatnot makes you look busy, or makes you look important. It doesn't. It makes you look disheveled.
There was something you said. It was kind of along the lines of like, I'm basically like, I don't have to pretend to be busy.
Right.
Right. And
Yes.
like when you're actually busy, I don't have to pretend that I am.
It's not a.
Or I don't have to put it on a show. Like I'm too busy to put on a show to show you. Like
Exactly.
I was saying, I've been to not even not meetings, just like going out for coffee with somebody or going out for brunch with people like who are also entrepreneurs.
Right.
And like I have been able to tell that they've left their phone with the screen side up so that you can see like, oh, I'm getting a text message, like, oh, I'm getting a call, like, oh, I like, let me answer this,
Right.
And one that turns me off. Like
Right.
I don't like that. I always like flip my phone down when I'm in a conversation with somebody. But it's like, I wonder, do you know that I can tell that you want me to really notice right now that you're very busy?
Yeah.
And just the same way that we were speaking about how you can smell desperation in the room when somebody's like trying to network too hard.
Yes.
You can tell when somebody's faking the grind.
Right.
Or faking being busy for the sake of that. But with that, because everybody wants to put on a show that they're busy, then I feel like we have taught younger entrepreneurs or anybody in this field, but I feel like especially when you're young, you're a little bit more susceptible to fall into these things that you think that's real. They have a full calendar. They only get to sleep 4 hours and they're like, only slept 4 hours last night, so that's what I must do.
Yeah.
So then they can fall into that trap of like, working so hard, not sleeping, not like where would you say this is a red flag that your hustle is actually turning into something unhealthy?
Yeah, it's a red flag when your hustle is turning into something unhealthy, when you're go, right? You have no time to do anything, right? And you're either losing money or you're just barely getting by. You're just barely making it. That's telling you that you need to make a change. Again, there might be seasons for that to then get somewhere down the line. But if it's a constant thing, right, then that means that you have too much fluff. You have too much busy work that's not moving the needle.
Yeah.
You either need more margin,
yeah,
right, or you need to make a change. And I've been there. I've been in those situations where there's no extra time. I'm grinding. I've gone a whole day, and I still have to do stuff at night. And I'm like, okay, I'm in worse position than before because I have all this other busy work. It might not even be projects. It might be other things that you're doing on the side, or whatever it is, whatever you're doing to stay busy. Yeah. If your calendar is just full and you're not progressing, you're not getting anywhere, then you need to reassess, because either that or you're gonna be shut down. It's gonna be decided for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're talking about this because it's such a real thing where, social media is such a powerful tool.
Oh yeah. Yes.
It is tremendously powerful. And we have created these two extremes because of social media. Really, truly. Right. I think now, at least right now, they are as strong as they really are because you have movements. Like you have, I don't know what they call them. There's like there's like the tech bros, the corporate media world, but I'll constantly scroll and I'll see two different extremes. And I'll see that extreme of like 4 hours of sleep, but that's what it takes. Right. And that's true, because there's a season,
there's time
where
there's time for
that may be true.
Right.
You don't build anything meaningful without hard work, without putting in that, but that's seasonal.
Right.
It's not forever. It's
not all the time.
When would you say, okay, this is seasonal. You're supposed to grind for a season, not forever.
Right.
How long is it before you start to realize?
You should know before you go. So for one, you should know, okay, I'm about to go into a season here. Yeah. I'm about to spend a year, really no more than a year, but hopefully no more than like a month or a quarter is when you're just going crazy, right? If you're having, repetitive 4-hour sleep nights, no time, you're really just having to go all in. Those need to be, short bursts, but that's something that should be predetermined before you go in, right? So that should be determined, okay. And it should be, okay, we're doing this to get to this point. There's an end point, there's a goal at the end. If you're willy-nilly, if you're already in it and you're just grinding, you're not seeing any success, you need time out. Reassess, and then let's put some goals and boundaries in. Let's get some weekly goals. Let's get some daily goals. Let's restructure what this is. So if you're in the middle of it right now, there's no end in sight. If there's no end in sight, you're just going, you need to reset, right? And if you are planning, okay, if I'm at the very beginning and I know, okay, I'm about to go into my season, set what that is. And that's really your threshold.
Yeah.
Of, okay, how long can I realistically do this?
Yeah.
For my family to still like me. All right.
Yeah.
How long can I realistically do this for all these other things? And that will determine it. For sure.
So whatever it is, and of course we're speaking about specifically entrepreneurship and building a business, building a company, but whatever it may be, even say you're going to school or whatever, you can predetermine and go, for these next 2 years.
Great point.
These next 2 years, I'm going to be hustling down.
Yep.
I'm going to be, grinding, studying, working, doing what I need to do. But I've already kind of set a timeline.
Yeah.
Because at the end of these 2 years, this is what I want it to look like.
Yes.
Or a year or 6 months, whatever it may look based on your endeavors. But you've already kind of set a timeline. You've recognized I have to work hard.
Right.
I have to grind.
Right.
I have to hustle.
Right. Exactly.
For a period.
Yeah.
And I'm already predetermining that time.
Yeah.
Because I'm already looking forward to something.
Yeah.
I'm already,
it's gotta be for something.
Yes.
Yeah. When I was trying to buy that expensive engagement ring, right? I got the third shift job driving the bus at the hotel. Right, that was a 6 month assignment. Right, went did that for that amount of time. Got the ring, left. Have a set time.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember when I was in school, I remember telling myself literally, okay, for these next 2 years, you just got to get it done. It's because I didn't have student loans, so I was paying everything off. So then I was going to school, but I was also working to make sure that I was making those payments. Wow. It was tough, right? Yeah. But I remember literally saying, kind of before already getting that mentality of looking at it, looking why you were doing it,
right?
But also kind of mentally preparing yourself that this was going to be really hard,
right?
But because I took time to mentally prepare for it, went into it a bit more prepared, but knowing that this wasn't forever.
Yeah.
And something that kind of keeps you a little bit motivated is knowing this isn't forever.
Right.
But when you don't 100%. Have an end date,
then
you have no idea when this is going to end.
Yeah.
You're going to burn yourself out.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous. You could fall into so many things, anxiety, depression, when you don't see an end, when you have no idea when this is going to be over.
Yep.
But in order to not land in that place, you're saying, take some time, assess. How much time am I thinking this is going to take?
Right.
It could be a little longer, right?
Right.
Or it could be less time.
Yep.
Let's leave some room on both ends.
Yeah.
But have an end goal.
Have an end goal.
Don't just grind to grind.
No.
Without
that never works.
But I feel like sometimes we know, I think all of us know that one person who never knows how to turn the switch off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
And you can tell when somebody can't turn that switch off. And you may say, but look, they're swimming in it. They're making bank. Okay, that could be true. That's also probably they're only showing you what.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to see.
Nah. The person that looks extremely rich, probably not rich. You know what I mean? The one that really, really is making bank, you would never know it. You would never know
because you don't have to convince anybody. When
Don't have to.
you're
You're
truly
living it.
busy, you don't have to convince the world that you're busy.
You don't have to. No.
And when you truly have it, you don't have to convince people that you do.
No.
And on the exception to that rule of somebody who like flashes how busy they are, doesn't have an off switch, and they're successful, I would ask you to look into their relationships.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oof.
And see how many friends, real good friends they have.
Yeah.
How they sleep at night. You know, it's everything's give or take.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you don't know how to find that balance and you care too much about the external, how you look in front of everybody, you're going to find that you're going to look great in front of people.
Absolutely.
But you're going to look around and be like, where's everybody who's here because of they genuinely want to be with me. They genuinely want to be my friend. They're genuinely, you know, and again, I feel like we're being sold this. Not just this dream, but like the style of living that you should always have something going on. You should always.
There's the people that are really, really, really doing it, they have their breaks, right? They have good vacation. You know the person that like goes out of town and overseas for like a month, you know what I mean? And they take those good ones, you know what I mean? Like we might go, we may travel and it's like, okay, you're busy up till we get maybe 5 days, a week max, get right back, blah, blah, blah. Nah, those that are like really getting those good break, they have a week. The first week of the trip is just to unwind and get in the groove. Yeah, and then they do all their fun stuff. Yeah, and I like that's how you that's what you want to aspire to. Yeah,
So I'm gonna read like a couple lines to you, and I just want you to tell me like what do you think when I say these, right? So first of all, entrepreneurship requires sacrifice, but not self-destruction.
Yeah. That definitely requires sacrifice. There's no way around it. You're going to have to, grind and give up some things for a period of time in order to get where you want to go. But yeah, you cannot, it will lead to self-destruction. Again, it's not for everybody. But if you don't have an end goal in mind, and you're just going, it's not going to end well for anybody.
Yeah. Real entrepreneurship is systems, not chaos.
Oh, yes, it is systems for sure. Chaos will get because you can't, if you have, there's no way you can manage multiple things if you're not organized. Yeah. And the only way to do that is by having systems. So you have to have systems in place. But I would say in addition to that, real entrepreneurship, you have to have systems, but then you also have to have the right people as well. And being a new entrepreneur, a lot of us typically think the system is the most important thing. Yeah. Give me a great system, I can put anybody in there. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah. You have to have great people. You have to have the Joselyns of the world. Yeah. You have to have great people. You just do. Because if you don't, I don't care what system you have. Yeah. It's not going to work. I think we used this example. We were talking about it before. Think of, Chick-fil-A, right? And think of, we won't mention any places, but think of the non-Chick-fil-A experience. We'll say, right? Yeah. Both have systems, right? Yeah. That sorry place has a system, right? They have a system as well. So it's not that they don't have a system. It's just they have sorry employees. Yeah. Right? Yes. Yes. And Chick-fil-A is very, very picky on who they bring in. And, you have to meet a certain criteria. So you have to have systems, but you better have the right people. And,
on that, you better have the right people. I think something that a lot of people who enter the world of entrepreneurship deal with is kind of like that thing where it's very hard to let go of control.
Oh yeah.
And if I wanted something done right, then I just have to do it myself. Yep. Or that lack of trust, which can also lead to burnout. True. Because when you don't know how to rely on the people who are around you, or the people who you've even hired, like if you've hired them for a reason. When you can't learn to let go of that control.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't have to do with hustling, but that still will lead to burnout when you can't, and it's not just all systems, it's also the people. Right. And when you have good people around you, and I think you will even find that when you've built a good team around yourself, you kind of realize that you don't have to hustle as hard in a certain way.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Because you're like, wait a minute, like, I can ask for help. I can delegate.
Yes.
I can, take care of myself a little bit. That's what we're saying with this whole thing is that there is a place for hard work.
Right.
But there's also a place for rest.
Right.
But you cannot get stuck on both.
You can't.
On both extremes.
And a great example of that is in my earlier years.
Yeah.
Every week I had several nights a week where I'd be in the office till, past midnight. And I had one day of the weekend that was dedicated to being in the office. Right. But that was for a certain period of time to get things, moving along. Once I was able to bring on more people, now I don't have that full day in the office on the weekend anymore, or those several nights till midnight. Haven't done that in years.
Yeah.
So there's no coincidence. So that's a story of, again, that grind being for a certain time period. And then also when you have the right people in place, that also saves you time, like you said.
And then I heard this thing, it said, sacrifice isn't about how many hours you work. It's about what you're willing to give up on purpose.
Yes.
And I love that because I think a lot of times it's just that, again, where you want to be able to tell people like, oh, I was at the office till like super late last night. And then I had to wake up really early. Have you ever been in those conversations where people try to one up each other?
Yeah. Oh God.
On how busy they were. Like, oh man, I only got 5 hours of sleep every night. Really? I only got 3 because of this. It's like, man, I have 2 meetings today. Oh, I have 3. I've been,
so
and it's like, when did it become a competition when did this become a competition to one up each other on how busy we are?
Right.
But that is so toxic because we've made it a competition to be busier than the other. So then we start doing things that are not serving us, that are not pushing the needle forward, that are not producing anything, all so that we can show how busy we are.
Trust, because I am very busy. But that's not something that I'm proud and bragging. No. I'd rather brag about how I'm chilling, right? I want to brag about how I was at the beach, right? That's what I want to brag about. Yeah. There's nothing cool about bragging about how many meetings you have.
Yeah.
That just shows that you're still in the grind. I'm trying to get out the grind. That's like that's like the person that is not from the hood, but trying to act like they are. You know what I mean? You guys like, no, we're trying to get out. Like that's so
that competition. Who had the hardest childhood? Yes, and like we all laugh because I think we've all been in a situation where there's that competition of who had it the hardest, or who's busier, or who's more tired. If somebody's tired, all of a sudden I have to be more tired. No, shouldn't it feel good to be like, you know what? I actually got good sleep.
Yes.
I actually got good rest. Actually, you know what? I have set it up so that I don't have to be up all hours of the night. So that I don't have to show up every day stressed. And again, there's a time and a place for everything.
There is.
Because there is a season where you're not going to be getting a lot of sleep.
Right.
There is a season where you're going to have all of these things going on, and you're probably going to be a little stressed, and you're probably, and that's the building season.
Absolutely.
And in that season, you're going to grind, you're going to hustle, you're going to do all of these things. But the ones who are in that season and they do it faithfully and they do it the right way, like they're doing things correctly. They're not just doing it to put on a show, but because they're trying to build something, they'll come out of it.
Yes. If you bring my son on right now and you ask him, what is my dream Tuesday? Right? He will tell you it is being up the street at Caribou Coffee, wearing a tank top that you could call something else, playing dominoes at about 2:30 on a random Tuesday. It's
Okay.
like that's what I want. That's how I want my time.
Yes.
Cause like when I'm driving by and I'm going to get coffee and I'm hustling between meeting to meeting and I'm seeing the person that's just mindlessly sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like so jealous of them. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. And that's why with that line that was like, I want to finish the year strong. Nothing wrong with that. But when I saw that thing where it said, I want to finish the year off gently, I was like, that's so interesting. And here we are, CEO Lounge, and which has been an amazing opportunity, you know, for somebody who's a young entrepreneur like myself trying to build something, to learn from a seasoned CEO that you can build something. Yeah. But look, there's a time where you can take a retreat. There's a time where you can relax. There's a time, there was a time, and I'm not saying you're still working hard, right? But you're not glamorizing the burn yourself to the ground. No. There was a time for that, right? Yeah. There's that infamous video that I got to watch, the infamous video that for me, which is, you know, Derrick leaving the office close to 1 a.m., the last one there. You've put, I saw the video and you said something, you were like, the first to get there, the last to leave. Those seasons are real.
Right. Yep.
But they can't be forever.
No.
Would you be sitting here right now if you were like realistically, physically, mentally, your health, if you stayed in that mindset forever?
No way. No way. Yeah, and I wouldn't be married if I was still in that, you know. So she needed, like I said, my wife is most supportive person in the world. Hey, go to the beach by yourself, you know, do all these things. But okay, we need to see, okay, how long is this grind is going to be? She's fine with coming home late nights and doing all these things as long as there's a set end date, a set expectation. What's the goal? Why are we doing this? Yeah. Absolutely.
And so with those seasons, how do we honor the grind without glorifying it?
Get caught up in your goals. Yeah. You know, because the grind, you're going to have to grind to get to those goals. Yeah. But I wouldn't even say don't even really get caught up in the grind part of it. Just really get caught up on your goals, achieving your goals, because that becomes addictive. That's more addictive than the grind. Yeah. Right. Just seeing success. You have to see success step by step by step. So don't try to don't get caught up in a 3 to 5 year plan, although you want to have that. Yeah. That's great. But your 1 week plan is way more important than your 5 year plan. So get caught up in that. Yeah. Right. And then with those plans, okay, how much do I need to grind and whatnot? But like, because when I was going through that grind, that wasn't, maybe here and there every now and then, but that was never a thing. Yeah. Like even that video that I made, you're one of 3 or 4 people to ever see that video. Yeah. You know, I just sent that to Mike directly, my vice president, like, you know, you weren't leader to leader,
putting
like,
in
man,
everyone saying, look at me, I'm here till all hours of the night. I had to tell him, I was like, look, don't put this out. Like, I'm just sending this to you because I know you get it and we're kind of in the grind, you know, together and whatnot. So that's why that's never seen the light of day. Yeah. But yeah, so it was never about the grind. I would say just be more goal oriented. Yeah. Be focused on your goal. Be obsessed with that. This is the CEO Lounge. Yes. If you are trying to build a business, you cannot stay in that place of just self-care, relaxing, comfort. That will destroy you. You know, like putting in a little bit of work and expecting to see results. I worked really hard Monday, so I don't have to. You know, like that's just not going to happen. There's a balance that needs to be found between both. Like there was a season in which you were in that first to arrive, last to leave. Yep. Leaving when nobody was there, you know, coming home late, working multiple jobs, all this stuff. Yeah. It was necessary. 1,000% it was necessary.
It was.
But it can't last forever. No. And now you're in a season where you can take some more time for yourself. Right. Right. And everybody should find a season where you can take care of yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. Right. Right? Right. Sure. So it's just that balance, like finding that balance. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta have the balance. And that balance comes with planning, being aware, setting your goals. That's the key to that balance. So it's not just gonna naturally come. You have to plan for that. You have to plan for that balance. Yeah. And we're wrapping up and I wanna kinda close on this. Tell me what you think of this. You don't need to outwork everyone. You need to outlast most people. Yeah, I love that.
I love that. That's so true. So true with entrepreneurship. So true with everything. It's not about. It's about just staying in it, staying in it longer. Those nights, like you said, those nights that you don't quit when nobody's watching and you're hustling and grinding, and you then come back the next day and you stick around long enough to break through.
Yeah,
that's a very real thing.
Yeah,
and when we look at as you get older. And you look at the people that have, made it in certain areas that you can see, and you look back, especially if they're people that you know.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're not the people that you thought would be the ones to break through. It's because they outlasted.
Yep.
They outlasted everybody because there's so many obstacles out there that will pull you away.
Yeah.
And I know, Debbie, who we're going to bring on, that I'm so proud of, will be able to attest to that in her young career. Because there's so many times when she could have stopped, and she just kept on and listened and kept putting one foot in front of the other and doing something on a week-to-week basis to break through and, get into her career. So, yeah, with whatever goal it is, especially with entrepreneurship, it is about outlasting everybody, staying in the race. And staying in the race is about also, evolving. Evolving. You're changing. You're seeing, okay, this is working well. Let me pour gas on this. Let me do more of this.
Yeah.
This is not working as well. Let me kind of phase this and making that's the secret sauce to the outlasting.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you're just trying to outwork everybody, sometimes that's not sustainable, and you won't be able to stay. No. So many people that we've all started with, and you realize where they're not here anymore. They're not doing this anymore because they burned themselves to the ground. Yeah. So it's not about outworking everybody, but it's about outlasting, and outlasting requires balance.
Yes.
The people who outlast know when to grind and they know when to rest.
Yeah.
There's a balance. Yeah. They know there's a time and a place for everything, and I'm gonna work hard but take care of myself.
Yeah, and that's a good. You remind me of something, because I recently had a personal retreat. Right, went to the beach by myself to plan for next year, and one of the biggest things that I took away from that leads to what you're saying now. I decided with that is that I need to be present more. Being present more meaning, okay, when I'm grinding, when I'm working on something, all in, hard as possible, right? But I also, when I'm taking time, if I'm going to the beach, if I'm going on a vacation, I'm doing something, do that to the freaking fullest. Because what was happening with me is I could be in the most gorgeous place.
Yeah.
Amazing view anywhere, and I was not there. My mind was somewhere else. So it was really no need. It was no need for me to spend the money to be in Park City, Utah with this amazing view and all the amenities and everything. In my mind, I'm tripping on something else that's going on. So I've kind of made the commitment to myself is, okay, I'm going to be where my feet are is where I'm going to be 100%.
And, it's, we don't have it all together, because I struggle with that so much. I struggle with being I love national parks, and I kind of been on this kick for the last couple of years, is just trying to see as many national parks as possible. And I've been in some of the most beautiful places that I feel like the States has to offer, and I struggle with focusing in the moment and instead not worrying about a million other things, turning that phone off or at least putting it on do not disturb. They will survive, or these things will survive one day without you. Take care of yourself. You will not outlast them all if you don't take care of yourself. And I'm learning that balance. It's all a learning.
It is.
And I'm in the midst of learning that balance between working yourself to the ground and just then wanting to take care of yourself so much that, and I'm in it right now where I'm trying to find that balance of taking care of myself and not allowing that the grind to completely just take over. But it's a learning curve. But it's important that we acknowledge it before it takes us over.
Absolutely.
Before it destroys us. Hard work creates opportunity, and hard work is required to build anything. Anything meaningful. But hustle culture will create exhaustion and burn you out. Right. Do not confuse hard work with what hustle culture has tried to kind of like shove down our throats and make us believe that this is exactly how everything's supposed to look. Choose very wisely, because yourself, your business, the people around you who love you, they will definitely thank you for learning that balance. It's a hard one, but
it is.
We got to do it.
Got to do it.